of soil conservation best management practices helping to prevent compaction. So we've seen a lot of correlation between organic matter and aggregate stability as important soil qualities for preventing compaction, but we wanted to kind of focus in on one BMP that works to improve those qualities and see how that impacts the alleviation curve. Why is it important? I don't know. I feel like that's a redundant question. Compaction sucks. We don't always see it. When we do, it instills immediate dread. And when we don't, that's often the times that we're stuck with it for a really, really long time. We partnered up with a couple of great partners. Saugeen Conservation put funds towards coordination time, and OMAFRA was, lucky for us, was willing to step on board. Because our project plan 1 started with a plot like this. It was a great idea, but not very well thought through. So we started off with 4 sites throughout Bruce County, all looking at similar stages and prospects in their crop rotation and similar soil types. But our proposal was, we'll look at till versus no-till and cover crops and no cover crops. And so Ian McDonald caught on to what we were proposing, saw that we had a good idea, and told us that randomization was really important. And that things like field variances and history of tillage would have to probably be included into our plot design so that it was relevant. So we roped them into it. And then we came up with plan 2 before the fall. So we were looking at then 6 fields throughout Bruce and Huron counties, all with varying tillage practices, but keeping whatever they were doing the same. And we were looking at varying compaction methods, so kind of just dependent on what the farmer wanted to do. And we were looking at the same cover crop treatment. And so just in this little diagram, it shows in the red, that's our like big compaction plot. And what we did end up doing was splitting that between the like areas of the field to capture any variances. But it's basically just split between compacted versus not compacted. And in those 2 groups, cover crops versus no cover crops. In addition to that, we decided to go with complete and severe compaction. So I had to, put on some embarrassing tweets the neighbors for sure saw, but we just did like wheel-to-wheel compaction, and with like in the most severe case, so a full combine or a full manure tanker kind of thing. Our second challenge, after coming upon including randomization, was that the fall also sucked. So in light of the fall being such a challenge for our operators and wanting to get enough people in the door and started with their installation of the compaction plots, we decided to allow for varying cover crop treatment. So really now what we're looking at is based off of a systems approach. In all of these varying farming systems, how do cover crops impact their soils after compaction? Challenge 3 that we came up against was penetrometers are expensive. So the penetrometer that we quoted at for our initial funding proposal was $2,500. And And so penetrometers are difficult. When I use a penetrometer, it's very different from when Les will use a penetrometer. The force is different, and the rate is different, and so the results that you get will be different. And the penetrometer that is hydraulically run and automatic and feeds directly into computer is $25,000. So we had to, again, kind of regroup and change our plans so that we could at least look forward to using the right equipment for the job. And we're looking to regroup again with those that couldn't participate with us and run them through kind of like a second stage of participants. If we're not able to buy the penetrometer of our dreams, then we do have a plan B to just diligently take so many measurements of compaction. So early results, we don't have a lot. We put the plots in. But anecdotally, what we did see was less visible compaction in long-term no-till and cover crop plots. This picture here is actually of our long-term no-till plot, and it was underwhelming, and that's great. But also, we'll see how it impacts our results down the road. And just as far as early results go, we do have some anticipations. We anticipate to see a slower compaction recovery rate in plots without cover crops than plots with cover crops. But time will tell. And as time goes on, we're going to be communicating about this project. So we'll be on Twitter for the most part, but we are looking forward to having a compaction reaction day. But we're hoping to be able to go around and use all of the compaction measuring equipment that we've gathered in Ontario to put on a really great and informative field day. And it'll probably go on for a while. Compaction is a really interesting topic, and as such, I'm sure there are a lot of questions about what we're doing.